What's going on, you guys? Slim here, back with another video. And yes, I have another OTS championship deck profile for you guys today. If you guys are new here, consider subscribing. Be sure to hit that notification bell. That way you guys will be notified whenever I upload. And yes, I have another True King Dino deck profile, but I want you guys to take a quick look at this list and tell me something that you notice about it, or notice something that's actually missing. I'm going to give you guys like 1 or 2 seconds. If you didn't guess it already, yeah, there is no Pot of Extravagance or Lightning Storm for that matter in this deck whatsoever. I want to give a shout out to my boy TRISTEN WALLACE for sending me this deck list. I appreciate it, bro. He ended up getting 2nd place in his OTS championship, which means again he got his invite to nationals. I know everyone is panicking right now because we really don't have any YCSs or any events lined up due to what's going on in the world, but we can see if nationals will still take place. I want to believe, and I think everyone else wants to believe, that we will still be having nationals. It would be sometime later in June or July, so hopefully we make something happen out of that. If not, it is what it is, but still getting your invite is very important, especially this format. And getting your invite, especially when something like this happens to where regionals are canceled, really is convenient, because now, no matter what, at least you still locked in your invite. Hopefully nationals still does take place at some point this year. But anyways, yeah, he played True King Dinos. You guys know I love this deck. I've talked about this deck a lot here on this channel. Huge fan of it. I think the deck is awesome. I love everything that it can do. I love the iterations of how the deck has come, like full circle the last couple of months. It's had a lot of success at YCSs, regionals, etc. So it'll be interesting to see, how good this deck continues to be in Master Rule 5. I think the deck will be awesome. It's not really a super extra deck based deck, so it can just do a lot of things. UTC is an absolute behemoth of a card, and I absolutely love it. Other things just to mention, there was no Pot of Extravagance. So you guys will notice his extra deck is more freely open to just play one-ofs instead of multiple copies, so you don't banish them off of Extravagance. So there's a lot of cool things that came from this. But yeah, that's awesome, bro. I'm glad you were so successful playing without Extravagance. For anyone that does know, Extravagance will be getting a reprint. I don't know what the exact release date is. I know right now Extravagances are kind of high, so if you don't actually have Extravagance or Lightning Storm for that matter, this is a decently budget version of the deck for you guys to pick up. But yeah, we will get into it. So for the monsters, of course, you got Triple Baby Sarasaurus, the main baby that you pop off a diagram and just destroy in general to get your combos going. The one of Pancatrops, there's no reason not to play this card. This card comes off of Petite, off of this guy, off of Petite, what is it? Petite Tridon. Yeah, it comes off of this card as well. You got your one Kaiju, of course, in Doggeron. The card's great. Just any interruption, you want to get rid of, you just do it and then just do your thing. You got the one copy of Giant Rex. This card really shines in this deck. Just abusing it for rank 4 plays is awesome. Got the one Jurek Alo. This card's really cool. This card can be a brick in some people's eyes. I don't think it's a brick anymore. Being able to make High Speed Roy Chambara for a level 5, making a Trishula is awesome in this deck. I think that's fantastic. Being able to do things like that is really cool. You've got your triple copies of Miscellaneous Saurus standard. You got your triple copies of Nibiru, your one copy of your Quatless to get your pill, and you've got your one copy of the baby Petite Tridopine. I can't even pronounce that card. We're just call it Peachy from Land Before Time. Then your triple copies of Soul Eating Overraptor, obviously one of the best cards in the deck, just does everything for the deck. You are playing True King, so you still do play the 3 copies of the Fire and the 1 copy of the Earth. This card coming back is insane. This card just does a lot this format. Just being able to see what your opponent's playing in their extra deck and getting rid of the problem is fantastic. Gives you knowledge. Also helps you make VFD, which is nuts, so that's fantastic too. And then 2 Big Daddy himself. The card is... this card is nuts. This card just literally books the whole board and literally just does not care. It just does not care. It just clears an entire board for free. It's crazy. You guys have seen the success of Dinos. You see how its matchup is with Spirals. There's so many things Dinos can do against crazy broken board decks this format that once you bait out their negates, you just UTC them and the game is over. So it's awesome. That's it for the monsters. On to the spells. You got the 1 copy of Double Evolution Pill. I'm glad he's not playing any more than that. A lot of people will argue that the card is a brick. A lot of people do like the card though, because being able to get access to UTC at any time with this card is fantastic, but other people will argue, but I think it's fine to play this card. When I played the Dino deck myself, I did play this card, so I don't see any problem with playing Double Evolution Pill. That's just my opinion. I think the card is fine. I can understand people's reasoning of why that and Quatless are bricks, but if you can make it work, you can make it work. You get the 1 copy of Diagram, of course, pop your babies off, do crazy things. It's awesome. There's also the ability to protect your True Kings from dying by battle once per turn. I think people forget that. I know it's not really something that might come up, but you'd be surprised. Sometimes you might just be summoning these big guys. If you can't make your, if you're not able to make your what is it, your VFD, you're able to just sit on these guys, and these guys are huge, so it's pretty awesome. People forget about that. I just thought I'd mention it. It's just like one of those effects that people forget about this card, is it does protect the True Kings or True Draco monsters from being destroyed by battle once per turn. Yeah, so I like it a lot. That's pretty cool. Of course, the One Foolish Burial can send whatever you need to the graveyard to get some of your combos going. And then you've got the triple copies of Fossil Dig. It's not once per turn, which is great. Just search what you need and get your combos going. 2 copies of Lost World. This card is still like absolutely insane. Being able to put the level 1 token on the board is ridiculous. Being able to stop your opponent from really doing anything till they deal with that token is nuts. Being able to try to pop the token, then pop a baby instead from your deck is ridiculous. Like, I think Lost World is just a fantastic card for this deck overall. I'm a huge fan of this card. I was a fan of Lost World Dinos before, and the fact that you can play Lost World Dinos and True King Dinos, throw everything together and make it into one great deck is awesome. 2 copies of Mind Control. You are going second, so there's no reason not to play this card. This card, obviously, one of my favorite cards in the game. It just breaks boards by itself. There's a reason it went to 2. Your 1 copy of Mystic Mind. Again, a necessary evil this format. You need to play it in some shape or form if your deck is able to support it. This being a field spell deck, you're able to support it and, utilize it, and it can steal you games, especially if your opponent doesn't main deck and out. You play the 1 copy of Set Rotation and the 1 copy of Terraforming. Those are your extra copies of your Lost World or your Diagram or even Mystic Mind, so it has perfect synergy there. He's playing the 1 Upstart. And then the triple copies of Evenly Matched to round out the deck. So yeah, there is no Pot of Extravagance in here. There's no Pot of Extravagance. For any budget players that are having problems, here's a way to play the deck without Pot of Extravagance. The most expensive card you might have to get is maybe your Evenly Matched, but like I always say, you should have been having this card to begin with. This is one of those cards that's necessary in every single format, especially this format. It should be in your main or side deck somewhere for sure. So that's it for the main deck. It's 41 cards. To the side deck, we've got double copies of Ash, along with triple copies of DD Crow and 2 copies of Droll and Lockbird. If you guys noticed, there were no hand traps in the main deck outside of Nibiru, so he decided to side the hand traps, and based on the matchup, you can side them in. Droll, obviously really good against any deck that searches, really good against Spiral. DD Crow, the homie DD Crow, is just versatile against pretty much everything in this format, so broken against Salad, against Spiral, against any deck that revolves in the graveyard, really good against Lunalight. And then Ash being the most generic hand trap, you just side it in when you need it. Really good against Rogue too. Triple copies of Called by the Grave. This is basically just to make sure your combos go through. If there's some cards that could hit you, like if you're forced to go first, you can Call by the Grave when they try to hand trap you, which is solid. Not only that, if you don't actually catch any hand traps with it, you can set it as a trap card itself, and it can just deal with problematic things that would get in your way. So I think the card's very versatile, this format. It has been since it came out, and it's good in and out of combo decks as well as other decks that just want their plays to go through. 2 copies of Twin Twister, extra backer removal. If you notice, he doesn't have Lightning Storms in here, but he does have 2 copies of Twin and 3 copies of Evenly. That combined with, as you guys can see, the 1 red reboot is fantastic for the back row decks. And then 2 D Barrier, because really good against Shaddolls, really good against Invoke. Just calling Fusion is fantastic. It basically just ends their whole turn. So this card's great. I think a lot of people weren't really catching on to this card. We actually cited this card. Me and Johnny cited this card when we played the Mech Knight Invoke deck. It was just for Shaddol Invoked as well as the mirror match. So this card is just great, and I think we're definitely going to see more of it, especially in Master Rule 5. And then the already mentioned 1 red reboot for all the back row decks. Extra deck. Now again, remember there is no Pot of Extravagance here, so you have the freedom to play one-ofs. So I think that's really cool. It's something we haven't seen in this deck in a long time. You're usually forced to play multiple copies of stuff due to Extravagance so that you don't banish all the copies, but when you actually have the open room, it's awesome. So you get the 1 copy of High Speed Roid Chambara. This card is an OTK card. A lot of people forget that. It can OTK the opponent out of nowhere. It's great for a level 5. I just think a lot of people forget about this card, and it's a card that should definitely be remembered. Got the 1 copy of Nat Beast. I'm not actually sure if this card can be made in this deck. I might be missing something, but I don't know if there is a way to make it. Not sure, but if you mind control something, I guess. I don't know. It just really it would come up in an interesting situation, I suppose. 1 copy of Trishula, 1 copy of Abyss Dweller, one of the best rank 4s, standard. You got your 1 copy of Dolka, your 1 copy of Lagia, some of the best rank 4s for this deck. They're just so solid, especially if you're made to go first, or if you're getting into a grind game. Later in the grind game, Lagia and Dolka are fantastic. Tornado Dragon for the back row decks, fantastic. 1 copy of True King of All Calamities. You don't have to play multiple copies because you're not going to banish them off Extravagance, so 1 copy is all you need, and if you resolve 1, you should win the game. That's just how it goes. 1 copy of Borolo Dragon and Borosword Dragon, just very good. 1 for OTKs, 1 to deal with anything problematic like Sleeper, so fantastic. 1 copy of Phoenix and Unicorn for your nightmares. The 1 copy of Ningirsu. This card can come up and it helps you out problematic cards that you might not be able to out, so I really like this card. This card's also very good against the BLS link, one of the hard cards for decks to out if you're not able to target it or anything. 1 copy of Pentastag for piercing for game, and the 1 copy of Reproducus because it can make anything into a dino, make anything that you need to make, and it's generic, just a link to that points down, so it's very solid. Just some things we're going to mention real quick before we wrap up the video is that he played 5 rounds of Swiss. Round 1, he played against Magical Musketeers and beat it 2-0. Round 2, he played Thunder Dragons and he beat it 2-0. Rest in peace, Colossus. Round 3, he played against Infernoids and lost 2-1. Round 4, played Plunder Patrol and lost 2-1. Round 5, my opponent didn't show. He was told he was mad. He was lost. And round 4, I went to Hooters. He got lucky squeezing into top 8. Top cut, he faced the first place guy, which was the Infernoid guy that went undefeated. He went 5-0 and played through back-to-back bricks to win. Round 2, played Paleo and was able to slowly beat him 2-0. Final round of top cut, I played the same Plunder Patrol player and lost again due to not knowing what his deck did and lost to a good player 2-1 overall. Super happy with how the tournament went out. I was glad to get my invite with budget True King Dinos. He just wants to shout out his friends John and Lee Mears for helping me playtest, and a big shout out to my other friend Mason Henderson for letting me pick up the deck from him. Also shout out to Crimson Castle for being just an awesome local. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys today. Budget True King Dinos. For anyone that's trying to play the deck without Pot of Extravagance before the reprint, this gives you options to play it. I know there's no tournaments and stuff going on, but you can play online, so this does give you the option if you are playing this deck in real life to test it without Pot of Extravagance. And I think Dinos are a fantastic deck, and I can't wait to see what they continue to do in Master Rule 5. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.